Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am here today to show you all of the books that I have bought recently because I have a problem and I told myself I wasn't going to buy books, but I did. And you know what? It's okay. It's all okay. Background is different. I am not at home. I am actually in Chicago, and new city means new bookstores to go to. So it makes sense. Should I have done it? No, but I did it anyway. I have some books from mostly Barnes & Noble. Yeah, actually all but one of these are from Barnes & Noble, but they had that romance paperback sale, which so I did go to Barnes & Noble yesterday, which, oh my gosh, fun fact, I met Little Simsy. I met Lil Simsy when I was at Barnes & Noble. Guys, it was amazing. I love her so much. So I know she's not watching this, but I love you, queen. But I only bought one book when I was at Barnes & Noble yesterday, and I think we should give me a round of applause because I almost bought two. And the book that I purchased was Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. This is the book after Dance of Thieves, and it's the last book in the duology. Bless up. I love duologies, guys. I don't have Dance of Thieves with me, but I can't really tell you about this book without spoiling. So, Dance of Thieves is about this girl named Kazi who's part of this Queen's Guard, and she is sent on a secret mission to this land that she just is like, okay, there's this mission. Where Kazi ends up is actually where Jace is, and he is like the ruler of this land because they claim to be like one of the first kingdoms, and she's like, yeah, okay, whatever, I'm on this mission, get out of my way. And he's like, actually no, because if you're here, that means I can get the queen to acknowledge that my family's land belongs to us. She's like, right. So she takes this as an opportunity just to get information for her mission. He's using her to make sure that his family's recognized. I love a good just using each other to get what they want. It's a fun, good time, okay? Speaking of duologies, I did just finish Heartless Hunter last night, and because I got through this pretty quickly, I told myself yesterday, oh my gosh, you should go get the sequel. And I did find the sequel at this indie bookstore that was selling it for only $10. So now I have Rebel Witch. This is also the second and final book in the Crimson Moth duology. I love when an author knows just to make a story 2 books, guys. Heartless Hunter is about Rune Winters, who is a witch living in the New Republic, which is a place where they murder any and all witches that they find. And I think this one's really interesting because the way that they find witches is they have to use blood. Witches have to use blood to do their magic. And so they have casting scars, and it's just a pretty interesting way to do it. But little do the people know. And Rune is not just any witch, she is the Crimson Moth, which is a witch known for helping other witches escape and not be killed by the New Republic. And so she is, by day, this kind of dumb socialite that no one really suspects anything, but she is actually the Crimson Moth. Can you hear that? I hope not. She is actually the Crimson Moth. And so there is Gideon, who is a member, he's actually the captain of the guard that finds witches and kills them. And he kind of suspects something about her, so he decides that he's going to pretend to court her. And she decides that she's going to pretend to court him so that she can get information as the Moth. And it's just basically them, going back and forth, using each other, trying to get both of their goals. Very Dance of Thieves core, honestly. So if you like Dance of Thieves, you'd like this. I think if you liked this, you'd like Dance of Thieves as well. As I mentioned, Barnes & Noble had their buy one, get one 50% off all romance paperbacks. Literally all of them. It was incredible. I was in heaven. And I did get 4 books during that sale. First, I picked up The Love Lyric by Christina Forrest. This is part of, I believe it's called the Green Sisters series. Interconnected. I haven't read the first 2. This one just sounded the most interesting to me. This is about Iris, who is a widowed single mother, and she's just been going through a lot, but she has a beauty company that she started, and she ends up getting this really famous R&B singer to be an ambassador for her brand. And with all that she's going through, raising a daughter all by herself, she is not really looking for love, but the singer, I believe his name's Angel, is just like obsessed with her. Like he's obsessed with her, and so obviously it's about them falling in love. And I just love the blue, like the bluish kind of purpley going on here. This is such a pretty cover, and I've heard really good things about this book, so I'm very excited about that. Next, I picked up a book that hasn't been on my list very long. I literally watched one TikTok where this girl was talking about it, and I was like, yep, and I need to own that. I picked up A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. This is about Viola, who is presumed dead during a battle during, I want to say, the Revolutionary War. I cannot for the life of me remember what war Waterloo was during, but that seems right, right? Anyway, Viola decides to take this opportunity to live her truest self as Viola, and she ends up coming back to, I guess, where she grew up, or I don't know where, but she ends up coming back as Viola, and she sees that her best friend, who is a duke, he is still really mourning the loss of his best friend, and they end up kind of back together again, but he doesn't know who she is, and obviously they fall in love. Duh. I have been really getting into historical romances the past year, and I think also just with a transgender character, this is going to be so much fun. I'm very excited. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Also, low-key, this cover I love. I know it's giving the small romance paperbacks that your mom reads, but I don't know, I'm loving it right now. Another book that wasn't really on my list, but again, I'd heard so many people talking about it, saying it was such a good book, and I've already read a book by this author, and I really liked it. So I was like, you know what? We're just gonna do it. It's technically on sale. I picked up Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. She wrote Ready or Not, which is an accidental pregnancy book, and I read that, I want to say February or March, and I really enjoyed that book. It was super duper fun. So I was like, you know what? I'm probably going to like this. Let me just get it. This is about Lenny, who lost her best friend to cancer, and she is very much grieving her best friend still, and she has a live again list that is supposed to help her, kind of get through this, but she's just kind of struggling with it. And she also nannies or babysits part-time, and for one of the kids, the kid has an uncle named Miles who kind of notices that she's going through something, and so he decides that he wants to help her with her live again list, and in exchange she will help him connect with his niece. And I think that's really fun. I really like books that have kids as I guess not in general, because I don't even like kids in real life, but that are an integral part of the story. I feel I just think they're really fun to read about, and so I do think I'm really gonna like this. And I also just love this cover as well. Absolutely gorgeous. I have one more book that I purchased from that sale, but the next 3 books that I have either read or started, so keep that in mind. I have Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young, another person that wrote an accidental pregnancy book that I loved and made me want to read another book. I absolutely loved Out on a Limb. Definitely one of my top 5 romances from last year. Oh gosh, guys. This is about Chloe, who finds out that her birth mother had another kid, and she decides that she wants to take care of her little sibling, and unfortunately, she doesn't really make enough money, and she finds out about this CPS program where they put 2 potential guardians together to help support each other to make it easier for them to adopt whoever they're adopting, I guess. And she ends up paired with Warren, who is trying to get custody of his 15-year-old brother, who is also deaf. But yes, this starts off, kind of rocky, they kind of don't get along, and it just kind of goes from there. And I thought this one was really sweet. As you can see, I tabbed it, and I thought it was really cute. Also, I love this, what is this? Teal, green, whatever, blue? I don't know. These book covers are really getting me. So those are the 4 that I got during the paperback sale. The next book I actually was able to convince my sister to buy for me because she read it and it sounded interesting. So I was like, you should buy it for me. And she said yes. She bought me Milk Fed by Melissa Broder. I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to read the back of this book, but I feel like the back of the book is the best way to describe it. So all I'm gonna say is Jewish lesbians, and one of them is really into calorie restriction. I've already started this. I'm on chapter 3, I believe. Yeah, so far it's fine. I mean, I'm not far enough really to have an opinion, except this girl really cares about calorie restriction. Like, really cares about calorie restriction. I'm trying to get more into my fiction bag, so hopefully this will kickstart that. The last book that I have, which was the first book that I read when I got here and first book that I purchased. I'm literally like, I love this book, guys. I read Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. This is her fantasy debut, and this is based off of a Hermione fanfic that she wrote, which I did read years ago, loved. So when I found out it was being traditionally published, I was super duper excited. This book is about Brioni, and she has a twin brother, and they are fighting against this group of people that practice heart magic, and she and her people, they practice mind magic. People with the heart magic don't like the people that practice mind magic. They think it's wrong. It's just like not natural, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it starts off where they've lost the war. Her brother's dead. That's not a spoiler, that her brother's dead, and she is captured by the people and she is put in an auction. You can guess what I mean. And she ends up with this man named Tovin Hurst, who was at school with her. They had some things going on during school. I won't say anything more than that. But yeah, this is enemies to lovers, kinda, sort of. I mean, it is. Like, it is. But it's really good. Yeah. I'm not going to say too much just because it will be in a reading wrap-up. But yeah, I enjoyed. Fun time. Great purchase. And those are all of the books that I purchased recently. I think I'm actually going book shopping today. So I may or may not be coming back and showing you a clip of what I purchased today. Who knows? I was right. Another book acquired. 2, actually. First, my sister was actually going to get rid of this. This is Strange Weather in Tokyo. I thought the cover was interesting, and it's about this woman who ends up starting a relationship with one of her old high school teachers, which, yes, gross, but hey, you know, I like the cover. And then I finally picked up On Rotation by Shirlene Obuobi. I read Between Friends and Lovers, I believe in February. Really liked it. They had this for $10 at the place that we went. Same place I got Rebel Witch, actually. So, period. Don't love that it's hardcover, but I'll take it. Because I don't even think I've seen this in stores. Maybe once. But I feel like this is the first time I've actually seen it. So, that's the other books that I got today. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have read, want to read any of these books. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I do have a video in mind. No guarantee that it's going to get posted because we know me, but I am a bit more consistent on TikTok. So if you want to go see more of my face, you should go to my TikTok. That's it. I'm hungry, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.